Welcome to PIIP, Put It in Perspective. This is Nicole,
And I'm Ricky.
and today our topic is love hurts.
Yes, it does.
What does that mean? Well, of course, first of all, we like to definitely thank God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus,
Amen.
for all your blessings. And we pray that each of you be blessed and that you get a blessing from this recording. And moving right along, I said love hurts.
You do.
It should not.
Shouldn't, but
Today's topic may be a little sensitive for a lot of you, so this
Yeah.
may not be the day for you to listen, but we're talking about domestic violence in the Black community.
Yes.
Of course, it happens in every community, right?
Right.
But for some reason, from our experience only, this is from my experience only, or what we know of.
Yes.
It seems that we make it okay,
Right.
like more than other, and we may not. I've been in several different communities. I grew up in white communities, right?
Right.
I grew up, sometimes I was the only Black child, and maybe two of us in my class.
Right.
So
Right.
I grew up in different. My dad was military, so I grew up in different settings around different cultures or whatever.
Right.
But we're talking about this because I work with seniors.
Okay.
And what is happening a lot now is that domestic violence is really a thing now with our senior community.
Wow. Seniors?
We have seniors that are experiencing or dealing with domestic violence. And a lot of times in their communities, they don't even live with the person that's abusing them.
Wow.
Like sometimes it could be their caregiver, sometimes it can be their children, sometimes it can be a person that they think is a companion, right? But they don't even live with them.
Okay. Huh.
And the domestic abuse is happening.
Right.
And I guess that goes back to what I think we've talked about before. If we haven't, we'll definitely get to it.
Right.
Talking about learning to love yourself so that you set certain standards and you set certain boundaries.
Right.
So that love doesn't hurt.
Right.
It's gonna hurt in certain ways. Like you're gonna go through some stuff.
Right,
I'm not saying that don't pack up your bags today and leave. But I'm just talking I am talking about domestic violence or mental abuse.
Right.
That is a no.
Yeah. No.
And how you teach your children.
Yes.
Don't keep on recycling this stuff. Like from one generation to the next, you keep getting domestic violence, because nobody is talking about it. Don't nobody want to discuss it,
Right.
and it's normal in certain environments.
Right.
And that's crazy to me. I was in a conversation once. It was some couples, right?
Okay.
It was about 4 or 5 couples. I can't remember, right? So we were all sitting having a conversation. We were just talking about stuff.
Right.
So 2 of the couples started talking about how they sometimes have physical altercations.
What?
And so I'm sitting there looking like, what?
Diabolical. That's diabolical.
Just as you said, I'm like, what?
It's a no for me, dog.
And so, I'm just patient. I'm listening because I'm very sympathetic. Empathy.
Yeah.
Well, let me say empathetic. Let me use the right word because I don't know nothing. I don't know anything about that. So let me use the right word.
Yeah.
So I am very empathetic to them because they're talking about their situations, right?
Right.
And so they finish expressing themselves, and then the other couples are like, yeah, we had the same thing going on. And so then they look at me, they look at me and my spouse, and they're like, y'all too? And I said, no.
Spouse at the time. But yeah. Let's throw that in there.
We didn't. But
Fine.
but anyway, they look at me and
And this is when you were younger, of course.
Anyway, they look at me. This is what I'm talking about right here. They look at me.
Nothing recent. So yeah, throw that in there too.
But it wasn't anything bad though, so we didn't have to because it wasn't anything bad. Like it's not like we had any issues with that.
Young,
So
but,
yeah, but anyway, they look at us and say, y'all don't fight? And we were like, no. And they were like, wait a minute. They sat straight up in their chairs and they were like, y'all lying. Yes, you do. And we were like, no, we've never had a physical altercation. We don't fight. No, we do not. And they actually called us liars and said that we were lying and that everyone has physical altercation and that they could not believe that we were possibly saying that we didn't.
Yeah, no, everybody ain't like that.
So I went home in a state of shock. Not so much that they were all fighting, right?
Right.
But but they really genuinely thought that we were lying about not fighting.
About not fighting.
So I was like, what the heck is going on? That this is the norm and that you actually believe that people who don't fight are liars.
Right. I guess because it's so normal to them. They think everybody
But why? When I tell you, you know how I am, right? Like I take everything to heart.
Right, yeah.
And so I was like, what?
Thinking about it a whole week.
The whole 40 years, because we just, because here we are.
Right,
8,000 years later, and I still can't get over that. What? Right, that's actually a thing, and that people actually thought that a couple who in that environment, right, that they thought, and I'm not talking about like we were in poverty. I'm talking about these were high scale people who made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yes. These are wealthy people that we're sitting around.
Right. Yeah.
Who honestly thought that. I'm not talking we in the hood, we in the ghetto. No. I'm talking about people who got outside porches with TVs and lanais. I'm about lanais and, birds and, they get their lawn done weekly. And
when they set up their little dinner thing, the fork go over here, the other fork go out here.
Proper table etiquette.
Right.
Them type of people. Right. Who actually thought that it was a thing. Right. And that it was perfectly normal to live like that. That situation will stay with me like I think I will be 80 still talking about how that threw me off. Because in no way, shape, or form should that ever be normal.
Right.
Ever. And then you're talking about a child who grew up around domestic violence, right?
Yeah.
I grew up like with that narrative, right?
Yeah.
And so growing up as a child, watching the adults around me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I grew up like that, but I don't live my life like that, and so then I'm still in shock.
Right.
That was crazy to me.
Yeah.
So what? And it started even younger now. That's what's crazy. Children are starting with domestic violence as early as what? In high school, would you say? I would say in high school because you had a situation like that. You had a situation like that. High school.
It always starts off like a little tap. Mm-hmm. You say some tap. It starts off something little, but then it just progresses as it, as you grow and get older and things like that. And so a lot of times the reason we don't think nothing of it is because and this, I can only speak for men, is that the reason we don't say anything about it is because we get looked at weak, or you a punk, or, you a man, that shouldn't hurt you, and da-da-da-da-da.
So that punch in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Or that hit with that hammer that young lady just did.
Right.
That shouldn't hurt.
Yeah, that shouldn't hurt.
Because why? Your body is not made of the same skin and the bones as
She's scratching you with her dirty nails and all, like, that shouldn't hurt. Like,
because your body is not human and it's made different. Because I'm trying to understand why that shouldn't hurt.
Right. I don't, they'll come up with anything to try to justify why they did what they did.
Okay, that's not cool. So, I remember when you were in high school, and there was this young lady at the time that you were dating.
Oh yeah,
and she thought it was okay to constantly be in your face or trying to hit you or talk or just harassing you. She had gotten to a point where you decided not to date her anymore.
Right, yep.
And she wanted to walk up and down the halls harassing you, right? Yeah. Which was, again, okay, right? We good. But it was my shock when I went to go and when you reported it.
Yeah.
They did nothing.
Yeah.
Like the school officials did nothing. The teachers did nothing. So
Right.
I took it a step further because I
Right.
don't have good sense when it comes to mine.
Right,
Right.
right, right,
And
yeah.
so I took it a step further and went and reported it to the teachers and to the principal, to the counselor, school counselor.
Right, yeah.
I asked them if they could change your schedule so you wouldn't be sharing any classes. I was
Right.
told no.
Right.
That they would simply just have a conversation and that, it'll be okay.
Right.
Well, it wasn't okay.
No.
So I had to actually go threaten to press charges against the school
Uh-huh.
and the young lady
Yeah.
if they didn't change her classes
Uh-huh.
and if they didn't stop her from harassing you.
Yeah.
I made it very clear that just because she was a female and you were a male, that it
Yeah.
was still not okay for her to harass you.
Yeah.
And that if the situation was reversed, they would have been threw you out of school.
It been over with.
Not only changed the classes, you would have gotten suspended.
been
It
over.
would have been a whole thing.
It been over with.
So I didn't feel like it should have been any different in the reverse.
Right. And
It-
she was-
and that's a teenager. Why? This is grown people. Well, it
Right.
shouldn't be anybody's stuff. Let me say that.
Yeah.
But this is grown people stuff, not teenage stuff.
Right. And I was just walking to because what happened was I was just walking and I saw her and she was talking to somebody that I knew and I said something. I guess she thought that I was talking about her because I looked at her. You know how things can get kind of weird and misconstrued and a misunderstanding. And then from that point, she was just all in my face, just yeah. And then mind you, we walking by teachers, like real adult teachers, while she's doing all this. At that point in time, I'm real quiet and I don't do the
You still
whole
quiet.
back and forth.
You still
and
quiet.
yeah. And I'm walking past teachers. And nobody said nothing or did anything. But it wasn't until I started going off and cussing and then the only thing that they were fixated on and what they pretty much told you was, oh, he cussing. He cussed.
So?
We can't have that. Wait a minute. Where was all that energy when she was all in my face?
And I said so not because you're allowed to curse, but because if you're being attacked and that's the only way, and no adult is helping you, then what?
Right.
Then what? So if you do something violent to her, then it's really going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
To just to defend yourself.
Right.
So that's going to be a problem.
Right.
So I don't care if it's male or female,
Yes.
young child or older person. It should not be acceptable,
Not at all.
regardless of who it is, where it is, or why it is.
Right.
At all.
Right. Yeah.
It should not be acceptable, no
Right.
matter what.
Nope.
So thank God that situation got handled.
Yeah.
And it was eventually taken care of, gratefully, with the help of her mom.
Yeah.
Like her mom
Yeah.
didn't hesitate to drive her over to
She
our house.
did. I remember that.
And then I wanted to shake the snot out of that
I
little
remember
girl.
that. She drove to our house
But
so you could
I
talk to her.
understood. I was grateful. I was grateful. So I stayed in my, in my right mind.
Yeah.
But that conversation had to be had.
Right. Yeah.
That you have to, you got to stop, little girl.
You got to chill out.
Even when you were older, when you were young adults and you were living by yourself at first, and you had a stalker, this little girl that didn't know how to let go.
Yeah.
And she was threatening you and had other people threatening you.
Yeah.
Well, you just so cute. What you got going on? All these girls just no. But that she was threatening you, and we went to the police department. And was trying to press charges. And it was like
had a restraining order.
It was like
and
we
the guy
walked
looked
in
at me
there with an
crazy.
elephant or something and was asking them to keep it.
Right.
I had to finally threaten him and say, okay, if something happens
Yep.
to my child, my young adult, whatever you want to call him, because you keep telling me he grown, all good.
Yeah.
If something happens to my grown man,
Right.
then I'm suing everybody.
Right.
Because we attempted to come in and stop this situation.
Right.
And nobody would help.
Right.
And when I said that he got into action, he got you what you needed. Actually, he was acting like he was your best friend after.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
Like
he
he was
was.
like, you should be a police officer, sir.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
you know, he was your best friend
Right.
after
Yeah.
the fact.
Yeah.
But we had to be persistent in it. So I say
Right.
that
Yeah.
to say male, female, I don't care who you are,
Yeah.
especially if you're a male though.
Right.
Stay
Yeah.
persistent and don't be ashamed to say something. If some young lady is hitting on you
Right.
or old lady
Yeah.
is being verbally abusive to you or
Yes.
hitting on you, get out of that situation,
Right.
please.
Right.
Get out of that situation. No, it's not your job to get that person help. No, it is
Nah.
not your job to make sure that they are healed.
Right.
We would pray that they find healing, right?
Yeah.
Definitely encourage them to go get healed.
Right. Yeah.
But you stay clear until they do that.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to subject yourself to that ever.
Right. Not
Ever.
ever. And you too matter. You know what I'm saying? You don't
That's
have to,
right.
man or
That's right.
female, old,
That's right.
young, whatever. You don't have to go through that type of stuff.
That's
You
right.
know, tell somebody, let somebody know, so that way they can help you.
That's
if
right.
they don't believe you, go keep telling until somebody,
right.
but somebody gonna believe you.
That's right.
And just
It's nothing to be ashamed
it ain't
of.
nothing to be ashamed of.
One way or the other. Because a lot of women are ashamed too. They don't want to tell anybody that they're being hit.
Right.
Or that they're being mentally abused. Nobody who wants to say that. Like
Right.
people
Yeah.
look at you as if you're weak if you say that, right?
Yeah, forget all that. Yeah.
But you have got to get it out there. You've got
Right.
to voice it. You have
Yeah.
got to make it clear that it's not acceptable. It doesn't matter who it is.
Right.
And again, I'm not telling anybody to pack your bags. But what I'm saying
Right,
is,
yeah.
say it again because I like your you too. You
You
too
too
deserve better.
Deserve better.
You just do.
And
You deserve
and
better.
and somebody love you. Somebody like
That's
yeah,
right.
you not nobody punching bag
That's
or nobody should nobody shoot, let alone physically or mentally need to be abusing you.
That's right.
Because we already got enough in the world that we go through
That's
as
right.
human beings, and
That's
you know,
right.
life be life, and so it's not worth it. I promise you, it's not.
And we don't try to solve here at PIIP. We don't try to solve all your problems in 15 minutes. We just don't. We just want to give
Yeah.
you a different perspective,
Yeah.
or give you our perspective on it, and hope that help. You know that it may help you in some way, shape, or form. Right.
Right.
Because you know, with me and me and 99 talk, we
Yeah.
can talk for 6 hours sometimes. So we can't give y'all, we can't,
Yeah.
y'all don't hear all that. But
They be like, they talk too much.
right, but we just wanted to kind of give you an overview of, and a different look at it. Like I said, a different perspective on
Right.
that situation.
Uh-huh.
Do not sit by and let this happen to you. If you don't love yourself enough,
Mm-hmm.
and you too don't feel like you deserve better, get some help, get some
Right.
counseling, because you
Please.
really do. You really deserve better than that, and you don't have to tolerate that. Male, female, again, dog, cat, frogs, young,
of
old.
that.
You don't have to tolerate that.
Right. Nope. You don't. You better than that. Yeah. I ain't really got nothing to say to it. But
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us. Of course, we could keep talking for the next 6 hours, but we appreciate you tuning in. I hope everyone has a blessed day.
If you like this podcast, you like what you heard, if it offend you, I bad, but it's definitely a conversation that need to be had, because a lot of that is going on, especially now towards the community now, elderly now, and so this conversation definitely need to be had. If you like it, share it, comment. If you want a part 2 of what we talked about today, please let us know. Ain't none of this stuff gonna cost you your pockets. Just like, comment, and share. And so, so that way we can kind of get in the algorithm, and so that way we can actually help people, and it might even help you, or it might help your cousin, sister, brother, whatever the case may be. So again, like, comment, and share the podcast, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace out.